Coming up on News Live at 6, Syracuse is seeing some changes to the I-81 project. Our Michael Lamort on what these changes mean.
Do animals have rights? You know what I mean? Like, if there were people that wouldn't be okay with that and they wouldn't be able to do that, I don't feel that's right.
Plus, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation striking down on swans, how residents are reacting.
And one ESF teacher's unusual side job, hammering a connection between blacksmithing and chemistry. All that and more. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
The mayor announced today a 56-page long community grid vision plan highlighting a multi-decade forecast. Welcome into News Live at 6. I'm Peyton Spellacy.
And I'm Zach Richter. The plan aims to maximize the I-81 construction project in various neighborhoods throughout the city. Citrus TV's Michael Lamort joins us now live from I-81. Michael, what can we expect from this plan?
Well, Zach, I'm standing right outside Interstate 81, which is actually the reason Mayor Walsh announced this plan earlier today. Walsh saying that he plans to bring improvements to the cityscape of Syracuse in the many areas like East Adams Street neighborhood, Salina Street, the north side and south side of Syracuse. Those, like I said, they're just some of the many places that were highlighted in the plan that would experience improvements in their natural environments, built environments, and their developable land as well. Taking a look at the north side of Syracuse, the plan indicates that it's actually critical for this area to maintain a high level of connectivity with I-81. This will introduce projects like filling in the empty land in that area and enhancing access to many streets for mobility into the interstate. And many before and after photos as well, they're showing even more improvements to the city, like developing the environment and buildings around the Salina block, building new complexes along the East Adams neighborhood and in the downtown area as well. But the most challenging project for the city, that will be implementing improvements to the south side of Syracuse. I-81 construction will cause the most amount of issues in this area, according to the plan, but coincidentally, this makes it the most opportunistic area for urban life development. To approach this challenging area, Walsh is saying that they will propose two scenarios, both ideas aiming to create new complexes while also repairing the surrounding environment, like adding more trees and plants to that area. And the mayor saying today, the community grid vision plan, quote, first and foremost is about the people. It envisions what we can do now and in the future to enhance mobility and access for pedestrians, bikers, and drivers. It also looks at what we must do to improve the quality of life, increase quality housing, and grow economic opportunity in all Syracuse neighborhoods, especially for people living in the shadow of the viaduct who were harmed by the Interstate 81 highway for more than half a century. And the city now plans to hold many open houses throughout the north and south side of Syracuse to discuss the next phase of this plan. From outside Interstate 81, Mike Lamort, Citrus TV News. Guys.
Michael, thank you. Looks like a lot of changes coming to Syracuse. Definitely a big deal for our community. And 4 Falk students are down in Dallas representing SU in the AXS National Sport Analytics Championships. They're trying to defend SU's national title from last year. Seniors Colin Kniss, Nicholas Kimamoto, Tyler Bullbrunch, and Marissa Schneider are competing in the business analytics category. Last year, SU won the game analytics category, but that's no longer a part of the competition anymore. And, you know, it's looking a lot nicer outside, Zach. It was 47 degrees, which feels like a huge difference from 20 degrees just yesterday.
I know it is, but it's just sad to see the snow melt. Well, our Citrus TV weather anchor, Spencer Congel. Spencer, when is the snow going to come back?
Well, Zach, the snow won't be back for a little while. As you can see, still bright behind me, which is nice for this time of the year as we get even closer to our March 10th daylight savings. Right now, it's about 44 degrees outside, so not too cold, not warm enough, or just warm enough for that snow to be melting around here, which, you know, might be nice, might not, depending on what you like. As we look around central New York, we do have a pretty high temperature delta around 10 degrees. It's 46 degrees in Rochester and all the way down to 34 degrees in Binghamton. So we got a pretty high difference around here. Now, moving into later tonight, Temperatures will get down to about 33 degrees at 3 a.m., which, pretty cold. We won't see any snow, but it is still pretty chilly. The clouds are starting to move in now, so the clouds, it won't be nice and starry like it was last night. Now I'll have more weather later. Peyton and Zach, back to you.
Spencer, thank you so much. When you're a professor, having a job or hobby outside of the classroom is typically par for the course. Professor Mark Teese, however, has a side hustle that's a bit more unique than others.
Yeah, that's right. And Citrus TV's Tyler Aldano joins us now in studio tonight to tell us more about this professor forged side job. Tyler, what exactly is this professor's unique pastime?
Thank you, guys. During the day, Mark Teese is a chemistry professor at ESF. After office hours, though, he goes to work as a blacksmith.
While most chemistry professors spend their time outside of class hammering away at lab work, ESF professor Mark Teese prefers to spend his time hammering something a little more solid. Teese is a professor of chemistry at ESF, but he says blacksmithing is where his passion lies. Despite the constant banging, Teese says picking up the hammer brings him a sense of calm.
Blacksmithing gets rid of a lot of the white noise that people have that's always buzzing in your mind.
Teese began blacksmithing 11 years ago, but according to him, he's had a fascination with metals for far longer.
I did a big piece of history when I was at school, which was all about the Industrial Revolution in England, and that's really what ignited my interest in working in steel and metals.
Teese took that interest and ran with it. After nearly 11 years of work, he's earned the name the British Blacksmith, making everything from blades to even tables. While a blacksmith in the 21st century may sound odd, smithing has recently made a resurgence, and Teese couldn't be happier.
We've gone such a long way from making things with our hands. We're just buying them on Amazon instead. So the idea of people becoming more passionate about craft is absolutely wonderful.
When it comes to his day job as a professor, Teese says that working in the forge and the lab go hand in hand.
Science and art are actually very, very closely linked. Science is all about ideas. Then you go through the scientific method to understand what that idea actually entails. And art is the same thing. You come up with ideas, you try them out.
No matter where Professor Teese is, though, he hopes to keep hammering away at his passion for years to come. Tyler Aldano, Citrus TV News.
And you may have seen in the end there that Teese was hammering what looks like a small metal leaf. I actually have that leaf with me right here, right now, and you can see all the details put into it. If you're interested in his other creations, you can go to thebritishblacksmith.com. Guys?
We have Tyler, thanks so much. We have new details now in the case of an alleged beating at the County Justice Center last month. Now, Onondaga County Sheriff's deputies have been cleared of all wrongdoing. Inmate Azell Stanley's family accused deputies of assaulting him and not addressing his mental health needs. An altercation over Stanley having a plastic chair in his cell left his face bruised. He was released on $2,500 bail to get medical treatment. Following an internal investigation, the charges have been dropped.
And Zach, a judge is giving a downtown strip club and city officials another month to make a compromise. The city ordered Alpine Bar and Gentlemen's Club to close back in November, but the owner defied the order, saying it broke state and federal law. The city sued him in December, but the judge is hoping the two parties will work out a solution themselves. The judge set another hearing for the end of March.
Okay, now we turn to the latest in Oswego County. As the town of the Oswego Volunteer Fire Department will no longer be responding to SUNY Oswego campus. This comes as firefighters say they were overwhelmed with calls. They received 52 calls in 50 days, most for non-emergencies. Now it's up to the Oswego Town Board to establish a campus fire protection district. The commissioner says tonight firefighters can still watch their pagers and will be prepared to respond if needed for an emergency at the campus.
Coming up on News Live at 6, addressing a housing shortage, the steps the village of Pulaski is taking to give everyone a roof over their head.
Plus, the Biden administration taking another step to relieve student debt. Find out if you qualify. You're watching Citrus TV News, your campus news leader. We'll be right back.
Welcome to an excellent episode of Live from Studio B.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Peyton Spellacy, Zach Richter, and Spencer Congel. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. Moving east of campus to Manlius, the State Department of Environmental Conservation is giving the village an ultimatum: remove 2 or sterilize all of the Syracuse suburb symbol, its swans.
And Citrus TV's Luke Welch has the reactions from local residents.
Just 8 miles east of campus in Manlius lies countless symbols of hope, the beloved animal, the village swan. However, last fall, the famous female swan, Faye, was kidnapped and beheaded by a local team. Since then, the community has come together to mourn their loss.
It hurt a lot of people's feelings. Like, I got a lot of customers that come into my job and they still talk about it. And they're still like very much, it was almost like it was their personal pet, you know?
But that's not the end of the story. Faye had 4 babies before her death, and the town has been loving them in her honor. However, the New York Department of Environmental Conservation is giving the village leaders an ultimatum: rid of the male or female swans or sterilize all 4. And residents surrounding the swan pond here in Manlius are saying that it's not the swans that are invasive, and they wouldn't mind seeing a few more.
Never, ever was there too many swans here, ever, that I've noticed. You know, barely, just got those baby swans within the last year, so there's no way that that's an invasion, if I could say that. On the other hand, it feels like we get more geese per year.
And one resident who lived just a minute walk from the pond says it's not a nuisance, it's tradition.
Yeah, I would love to see more swans. I think it's great. I just love going up there every day, feed them, and watch them grow, you know. They were little swans when they first put them back in there, and now they're just grown up now.
And as the controversy continues, the villagers have one common message: as long as the village lives, so do the swans. Luke Welch, Citrus TV News.
Luke, thanks so much. The swans are definitely a big symbol to the town of Manlius. Now, one Syracuse family says they are rejoicing after their 12-year-old boy returned home this morning. And as you can see, that's a picture of Kamari and Patterson right there on the screen. He came home on his own this morning after he went missing for 5 days.
Wow, the police say he is safe and healthy, and according to Lieutenant Matthew Malinowski, Kamari left home after a family dispute, but was spotted in public and taken home shortly after.
And Zach, a new report by Apartment Advisor ranks Syracuse as the most competitive rental market in the country. Now, the effects of that are spreading across central New York.
And Citrus TV's Dylan Brendel was in Pulaski learning about how the village is trying to address the housing shortage.
Homes are hard to come by in central New York. Pulaski Mayor Jan Tai says new housing is desperately needed at all levels.
You very seldom see a for rent sign. If you see a for sale sign, if it's anywhere affordable, it's snatched right up.
The village has already started to try and address the housing shortage. They built a 64-unit complex on Bellow Road, and they've got space picked out for the next one. They're trying to address people of all different income levels.
We have people who want to upsize, people who want to downsize, people who just want to find a roof over their heads.
One of the growing concerns in central New York and in towns like Pulaski is people who are unhoused. Executive Director of Oswego County Opportunities, Diane Cooper-Currier, says new housing has to fit in people's budgets.
For more than 50% of the population of Oswego County that are not earning the area median income, affordable housing allows them to be in safe, decent housing that they can afford.
Cooper-Currier adds, no matter where you are, the stigma surrounding unhoused people is bad, but rural communities face another set of challenges.
Accessing resources in rural areas is more of a challenge because of the resources may not be in the town where you're located. They could be in a town 20 miles away. If you don't have a car, 20 miles feels like 2,000 miles.
Recently, the village of Pulaski was named a pro-housing community, a designation giving the village better access to state money for housing projects. Dylan Brendel, Citrus TV News.
Dylan, thanks so much for your coverage. Now the latest on the Biden administration's efforts to cancel student debt. The president announcing today he will forgive $1.2 billion in student loan debt. The release is for more than 150,000 people in the Saving on Valuable Education Plan.
The SAVE plan, as it's known, will help borrowers who have been in repayment for a decade or longer and originally took out $12,000 or less. The SAVE plan speeds up the relief process of debt forgiveness from up to 25 years down to 10.
Coming up after the break, you may have noticed less snow this year. Our Jacob Goldberg has how local businesses are reacting. Stay tuned.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now, we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that, save it.
The falsehoods, the feelings of fault, then the funds.
Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
And we are back on News Live at 6. Well, you may notice the slowly disappearing on campus and beyond.
Citrus TV's Jacob Goldberg spoke with one ski resort on how they're handling the unseasonably low snowfall.
The city of Syracuse, the snow capital of the United States. 30,000 tons of rock salt and over 100 snow removal trucks hit its roads each year. But in 2024, that has all changed. This winter season, the Salt City is seeing less snow than ever. The city brings in 88 inches of snow per year, but this year, that number is just 28. Bill Hain, the operations manager at the Four Seasons Ski Center, says he has had to change how the business operates.
We have beefed up our snowmaking capabilities, over the last few years. We've gotten better equipment and such to help make snow in warmer temperatures.
Here at Four Seasons, they are firsthand seeing the effects of climate change as they have to use these artificial snowmakers behind me to pump snow and keep operating during the winter season. And that's something that's impacting the finances behind the business.
That's more expensive, right? So that raises the cost of running the business. If that's going to become necessary to run a ski resort.
That was the voice of Syracuse University professor David Popp. Popp specializes in climate change economics and mentions how Hain and other business owners will have to spend more money on climate adaptation. For Hain, he says that the use of these machines uses a lot of energy.
It's a big fan, an air compressor and such, and a big pump, so it uses quite a bit of power.
That increased electric bill isn't the only challenge facing the business. Hain says that for the Four Seasons, the seasons themselves are becoming shorter.
Once we're into January, February, we've got enough snow so we don't have to make as much snow. And this year we made quite a bit.
And for a place known to have a 100% chance of snow, the increased temperatures are no longer making it a guarantee. Reporting in Syracuse, Jacob Goldberg, Citrus TV News.
Jacob, thank you. I've got your full weather forecast here. Now, here's a little bit more on what Jake was talking about with that snowfall that we're seeing in Syracuse this year. As you can see, this year so far, we're at 27 inches of snow, which obviously the rest of these numbers reflect a full year of snowfall, but we are pretty low. The Syracuse average is about 78.4, which has been going down as we get less and less snow per year. Last year, 62 inches of snow for the year, about 10 inches less than the average. 127 in 2018, that's the last time we were above the average. We had some pretty crazy snowfall. And 10 years ago, we were about at the national average. So yeah, Jake's right. the snowfall is definitely becoming less and less here in Syracuse. Now, let's take a look at our weather here in Syracuse today. As you can see, our radar of rain in the next few days, we will have a storm kind of moving in here pretty soon. As you can see, 45% chance on Thursday. Pretty similar temperatures throughout the next few days here, around 45 degrees. It will be pretty cold on Saturday, getting down to around 12 degrees, but you know, overall, around 45 degrees. We will see a little bit of sun on Sunday and Monday, which will be nice. Maybe we'll have some nice, pleasant days like we did today. That's all I've got for weather for now. Ben, Spector, what's coming up in sports?
Well, Spencer, coming up on sports, a lunchtime matinee in the Dome put smiles on Syracuse fans' faces. That and a whole lot more after these few messages.
They took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Lunchtime for lacrosse fans today had a nice little twist to it. A matchup in the Dome took place at the Sun's highest point. Welcome to sports. I'm Ben Spector. A noon game midweek isn't the most common in college lacrosse, but Syracuse and Utah went head-to-head earlier today. To the JMA Wireless Dome we go for some lax action. This is a Syracuse team that was searching for a big win after losing to Maryland early, and Owen Hiltz delivered right away with a big-time goal. His 8th of the season. Hiltz had 2 goals in this game. Syracuse was all over Utah, led 10-3 at the half, and a big contribution as to why Joey Spallina, this was his first goal of the game, helped Syracuse build a lead to enter the halftime break. Syracuse all over Utah, especially in the first half. That carried over into the second. One Spallina got involved in Joey, then a second Spallina got involved in Jake. This is Jake Spallina's first goal of his collegiate career. He sees all his brothers get the accolades, so he has to get involved in the scoring party. That contributed to a Syracuse 18-7 win. Joey Spallina scored his 100th point in this game. He becomes the 3rd fastest player in program history to reach the 100-point mark in his career. Joey Spallina contributed to a massive start, led to the 18-7 victory over Utah. 3 goals, 4 assists for the sophomore. Syracuse takes down Utah 18-7, improves to 3-1 on the year. The Utes still searching for that first win in 2024. All right, over on the hardwood, Syracuse men's basketball took down NC State 87-83 last night in Raleigh. It was a career day for forward Chris Bell and guard Quadir Copeland. Bell put up 8 threes in the win, and Copeland posted a career best 25 points. You're still looking at that lacrosse score there, but this basketball team was on fire. The sophomore guard said that he just took what the defense gave him last night.
You gotta understand, I'm still a guard, so a lot of teams mess up and put like 4s and stuff on me. So
it's easy ways for coaches to see mismatches like that. I was really trying to get Chris a shot, and to be honest with you, Chris helped me get really my points because now they was guard him, so now it's just I can get to the basket with ease, nobody can jump off, and then if they jump off, I can still make that kick-out shot.
Well, Bell and Copeland working together helped the Orange earn their 7th straight win over the Wolfpack and get back to 500 in ACC play. Syracuse returns home this weekend, hosts Notre Dame at noon. It's Jim Boeheim Day in the Dome, so tune into Citrus TV at 4 o'clock for post-game coverage with Orange Press Pass. That's 4 to 4:30. Now, also in CNY, Syracuse women's basketball head coach Felicia Leggett-Jack's stellar season is continuing to get recognition. SU Athletics announced earlier today on social media that Leggett-Jack is one of 15 coaches to be named to the Naismith Trophy late season watch list for National Coach of the Year. This is the head coach's first ever appearance on the list. The Orange are the number 17 team in the country and sit second in the ACC behind Virginia Tech, 12-3 in conference play. Moving on to the NBA, the Nets are up north and take on the Raptors. This is Brooklyn's first game with interim head coach Kevin Ollie. Jacques Vaughn was the previous head man, was fired 2 days ago. Tip-off is set for 7. This is the first game back from the All-Star break. All right, Peyton, Zach, back to you guys.
Okay, Ben, thanks so much, and we will be right back.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker. New from Be Normal.
This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
When you wake up tomorrow, it'll be pretty cloudy outside. We'll see some rain later in the day at about 3 p.m. when we see our high of 42 degrees. That's all for Wake Up Weather. Peyton and Zach, what's left for News Live at 6?
Well, Spencer, that's all for News Live at 6 this Wednesday.
Don't forget you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Zach Richter.
And I'm Peyton Spellacy. Have a great night, Syracuse.